This is K.M. Weiland, and you are listening to the 201st episode of the Wordplay Podcast. I'm diving back into Storming this week after taking a few days off to read the first quarter of the book. Now that I'm back, I get to write the first major plot point and the ensuing aftermath. This is very possibly my favorite scene in any story, as the moment when everything changes in a big and dramatic way, even if it's already changed several times before. It's always a fun moment to plan. What wonderful set piece can I create to shock and awe my characters and excite my readers, not to mention myself? At this point in the first draft, of course, the specifics are under wraps, but suffice it that I had a lot of fun with this one. The June issue of my e-letter hit inboxes this week. It included the article, Win Reader Sympathy with Character Pain, and my response to a subscriber's question about how to write beautiful prose. If you're not receiving the e-letter and would like to, you can sign up for my mailing list on my website at kmweiland, that's weiland.com/mailing-list.php. You can read back issues online at kmweiland.com/eletter-issues.php. Why your protagonist might not always be your hero. The latest post in the video series on my blog uses the Disney classic Sleeping Beauty to help writers think outside the box when choosing protagonists. To watch it, visit my website at www.helpingwritersbecomeauthors.com. New videos are posted every Wednesday. And now, I hope you enjoyed this week's podcast, Most Common Mistakes Series, Part 21. A surefire sign you're over-explaining. Authors are in a tough spot. Readers expect us to supply them with enough info to help them imagine our story worlds and our characters' emotions in vivid details, but readers also expect us to never provide too many details. They want us to explain, but they never want us to over-explain. Over-explaining can manifest in several ways, but the core of the problem is always repetition, and it's usually symptomatic of authorial insecurity. We distrust our ability to explain things well enough the first time around, so we stick in a second, or even third, explanation just to make sure readers get the point. But not only are these inner girders unnecessary more often than not, they also tend to have exactly the opposite of the desired effect. Instead of strengthening our prose, they weaken it. We end up with flabby sentences, confused metaphors, and condescending descriptions. For example, tears welled in Kira's eyes. She was so sad she could just cry. Her heart felt like it was about to bleed itself dry, like it was about to crumble into a million infinitesimal pieces, like it was breaking. How can you treat me like this? She sniffed dismally. Poor Kira. She's getting smacked around from all over the place. Not only is she sad and apparently mistreated, she's also getting absolutely no benefit of the doubt from her author. This example features just about every kind of over-explanation you can imagine. Telling that's repetitious in light of a strong example of showing, 3 metaphoric descriptive phrases where one would do, an unnecessary dialogue tag, and a gratuitous adverb modifying that tag. Instead of milking this dramatic moment for all it's worth, we'd be better off trusting the drama itself to carry the day. We could easily cut almost all of our original explanation without weakening the effect. For example, tears welled in Kira's eyes. How can you treat me like this? Particularly if your subtext is strong enough to indicate why Kira is so upset, readers will understand she's sad enough to cry, ergo her heart is breaking, ergo she's dismal. You don't need to tell readers what they can glean for themselves. True enough that you can also go overboard in avoiding explanation. You always want to give readers enough external detail to help them visualize characters and settings, and enough internal detail to help them vicariously share your character's emotions. This is an equation to which only you can determine the right answer, but when in doubt, err on the side of less explanation rather than too much. Readers are smart, and they love it when we acknowledge their intelligence. Thank you for listening to the Wordplay Podcast. To read a transcript of this episode, you can visit my website at helpingwritersbecomeauthors.com. And be sure to check back again next week.